Let's flow. Let's connect and flow. Welcome to Soul Podcast Series. Welcome to the quantum age of awakening and the consciousness within science. Welcome in. So, I am connecting. I am getting a connecting. Hold on just a second. I was getting a vibrational loop of my voice. Not that I don't like to hear my voice, but anyway, thank you for coming to Soul Awakening Podcast Series, Quantum Age of Awakening and the Consciousness in Science. This is episode 7, Chakras, Energy, and the Outer Field, a Quantum Perspective. So welcome back. So today we are continuing our exploration of consciousness, of the energy of consciousness, and the living connection between science and spirituality. We're going to take a look at chakra. That's right, the chakras, the chakra system, and what we might call our outer field. The quantum field flows in us and it flows all around us. It never stops vibrating. It never stops moving. It's continuously moving, even in our quiet moments, even when we're having a rest or meditation, even when we're taking a pause, a siesta, no matter what you call it, right? So basically, let's see where we're going to start. Why don't we start with that energetic space where your inner world meets your outer world, or vice versa. In yoga and in traditional spiritual traditions, we hear about our 7 main chakras. We have many, many more. Even in our outer aura, we have a lot of chakras. The Creator provided us really well, right? So in yoga and many of the spiritual traditions, the energy centers in the body correspond with the physical and emotional and spiritual aspects of our being. So while chakras are not physically structured like scientists would prefer they be, so they could see it and you can say it, what it is and what it does, and it all makes sense, right? So while chakras are not physical structures that can be dissected, right, or measured directly, they're located and aligned remarkably with our major nerve plexuses, our endocrine glands, and the centers of the biological regulation of our body. They're not separate from us being biological beings. They're part of us, okay? This alignment gives us a bridge to a way of understanding the ancient wisdom that moves through us in a more modern wisdom, or more modern scientific way, right? I know this helped me because when I was coming up, I was led to believe in my Baptist upbringing that science had no place, that science was the enemy, right? That science negated the creation, Adam and Eve, right? So this is helping me understand it. even more than when I was young or younger, or still growing and expanding in my understanding. Because up until maybe 3 years ago, chakras didn't come into my inner knowledge. I didn't say they didn't exist for me. I just said that they weren't part of my knowledge. I heard the word, especially through yoga and everything. But guess what? I was told that was a trend. Matter of fact, I was told that I was only body and mind. From growing up and understanding now how my soul plays a very, very intricate part of my triunion with the universe, or with the creator, however you say it. All of these things are starting to make sense to me. They fill in a piece of the puzzle. For me, science and spirituality aren't separate. They're part of the same wholeness. They're just being voiced a different way, expressed a different way, right? So this alignment that I'm sharing with you is us having a bridge to understanding the ancient wisdom spiritually through modern science language, and that one doesn't reduce the other. So rather than thinking of chakras as something mystical, that there's some mystical objects, you might think of them as functional energy hubs. Functional energy hubs, places where awareness, biology, emotions, and experience converge. Wow, that exploded for me, right? So let's begin with the foundation, right? I'm going to begin with the foundation because some people are coming in might not know anything about chakras. So we have to start with what the 7 chakras are, right? Excuse me. So the first chakra, very first one I learned about, was the root chakra, right? I learned that the color is red. I learned that the base or the chakra is at the base of the spine. I learned the themes of the chakra, which is grounding, safety, and stability. Now I add in scientific information, scientific labels that I can vibrationally put in there, that this area is associated with the tailbone, the muscle at the base of the pelvis that supports posture and stability. It also supports the adrenal glands, which play a key role in the body's response to stress and survival. So for the survival perspective, this region governs, are you ready for it? The most basic need: shelter, safety, and physical stability. And guess what? When the nervous system perceives a threat, that's right. You know what I'm going to say: fight or flight. Now I understand that better. Now I understand both the spiritual and the psychological. Right? For me, they're not two sides of a coin. They're being expressed on the same side, just different ways. Yes? just different ways. So let's keep going. So when the nervous system perceives a threat, your ego perceives that there's a threat pending, it goes immediately into fight or flight. It responds. It reacts. Spiritually, when the root chakra is in balance, a person may feel unsafe or anxious or disconnected from the body and from earth, or from the universe, or from consciousness, or from the creator, however you choose to, I almost dropped my notes, however you choose to express it, right? When the center is regulated and grounded, you're going to feel stable. Your mind, which I believe your mind is in every cell of your body, is going to feel supported. You feel and know you are in your present moment. You are anchored. And you feel safe enough to grow, expand, and shift. Welcome in. All right, so are we ready for the sacral chakra? We're going to go through all of them because they are energy and they are part of us. Whether we see it from the science aspect or whether we see it from the spiritual aspect, they are the same side of the coin. All right. So the sacral chakra, I learned it to be the color orange. I learned that it is in the lower abdomen and that the themes of it are creativity, emotion, sexuality, right? That's the way I learned it. And I'm going to tell you how I learned it. The main thing I learned it is everyone calls it this sexual energy. Even spirituality. That's where they turn to first. And I used to always, is it always about sex? Is this creative energy always about sex? Even when I was starting to just dive into the information into spirituality, every spiritual page that I went to was talking about the sacral chakra and its sexuality. But I'm a Gemini. I'm going to say, what about creativity? What about emotion? Yes, it's nearest to the reproductive organs. It's also nearest to the kidneys and the bladder. Those are reproductive organs as well. Right? So biology, the biology is deeply connected to reproductive hormones. That's what biology says about this energy, about this energy, where it sits at. But it's also about emotional regulation and rhythmic cycles of the body. And guess what? Men have rhythmic cycles of the body as well. They don't have to have a period. They have rhythmic cycles of the body. And it doesn't have to have anything to do with sex. It can, because that's part of it. Spirituality. In spirituality, the sacral chakra governs flow. Emotional flow, creative expression, pleasure, and connection. Biology and science are talking about the energy on the same side of the coin. They're just giving different expressions of information. They're expressing it differently. For me, that helped me to understand that they're not in competition with each other, like I was told. Right? Go with the flow. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Right? Growth and expansion. Growth and expansion. Hold on a second. Welcome in, Grace. All right. Had to welcome her in. So this region aligns with the sacral nerve plexus. Okay? Just to say that. Right? Energy moves freely here. Emotions are felt without being overwhelmed. Creativity is felt, or creativity can feel natural. Emotions can be felt without being overwhelmed, and relationships can feel fluid when they're not blocked. Right? When they're blocked, emotions sometimes you can feel through your emotions that you're stuck, or that they're suppressed, or that things are so chaotic around you. Chakras are part of the quantum energy. Quantum energy is within you, and quantum energy is outside of you as well. And you get to experience it in both ways. Right? So notice how closely that the spiritual expression mirrors biology, the biology that you are. Your hormones and your emotions and your creativity, they're not abstract. They're embodied processes. The divine, the creator, made no mistake with that. Grace says she learned to dial that part of herself down. She started to notice how people were behaving around her, and she didn't like it. Right? But now she expresses herself in a different manner. See, once we start to learn about the quantum energy within us, regardless of what the labels are called, regardless of you getting the information via the scientific way or via the spiritual way, you're still getting that information, and you can use it to grow yourself, to know thyself. Right? Okay, so let's go on. Let's talk about the solar plexus. I'm quite sure that for people coming in, they've already done this. They've already listened to a ton of, gurus talking about the solar plexus, learning how to dial into it, learning how to, tune into yourself and everything. But for the newbies, you got to start somewhere. Just take what resonates, leave what doesn't. I'm not here to change your mind about religion or about science or about spirituality. I'm not here to tell you how it looks or should look for you. I'm here to tell you this is what I learned for me. And happy to share what I've learned. And I'm still learning more. To me, this is my very first drop in the bucket to actually talk about what I've learned. And to stay not scattered, I have it written down. So if I need to, I'm going to read it, because I had to take that information in from, everywhere, learning it from different books and whatnot. Right. And I'm going to show you, learning from different books. Right. Learning about energy, learning about the quantum energy all around me. And the quantum energy is not just in chakras. It's not just in numerology. The quantum energy is in light language, or what some people might call speaking in tongues, or auto writing. I believe that's what it's called, auto writing, right? Or drawing, right? The quantum energy is when you break it down into science, science will give you the smaller particles and say, well, like we said, a particle before it's being noticed or observed, it's just moving in a wave. It's going la-di-da-di-da-di-da, moving in a wave. And all of a sudden you observe it, and then it becomes manifested in form. So who's manifesting it, or who's acknowledging it? Who's aware of it? What are you thinking about when you're aware of that particle that you just noticed, that you're creating? Your tool is quantum energy. It's not just inside of you, it's outside of you too. It's becoming whatever your outside world is because of you, right? Okay, so now let's talk about the solar plexus, right? This is all quantum energy, and this is within you. Solar plexus chakra, sometimes they call it Manipur. The color is yellow. It's the upper abdomen. Themes are confidence, personal power, and will or free will. Right? This area corresponds with the solar plexus, or the celiac plexus, one of the most complex nerves. Blew me away. One of the most complex nerve centers in the body. You have all this mapping in your body, right? It influences digestion and I always had problems with this word. Metabolism, and energy regulation. Like the organs, some of the organs are, let me try to remember, the stomach, the pancreas, and the liver, right? So you've got, they're talking about the metabolic rate. How long does it take your body to digest or transform or take in the what you're feeding your body, right? Even in medicine and herbs and everything, right? Scientists call it, this area, your gut. Science recognizes it as a powerful center of intuition. It controls the body's function. Okay? Spirituality, this chakra represents power or personal power, boundaries, and self-trust. When this center is balanced, you feel capable, you feel confident without having aggression. When it's imbalanced, you feel powerless. You feel sometimes you may be over controlling or driven by fear rather than clarity. Those are just little suggestions. I mean, there are many, many more. Right? But it's your personal power center, your intuition center. Yes, when you have a gut feeling and somebody says, oh, you can't feel through there. Well, scientists even say that you can have a gut feeling, have a gut instinct. And we haven't even got to the third eye. This is quantum energy moving within you. Right? So this brings us to my favorite one, the heart chakra, the green ray, located in the center of your chest. Its themes are love, compassion, connection. The heart chakra aligns with the cardiac plexus. Your heart, your lungs, your thymus glands. And guess what? That controls your immune system. The heart is not just a pump. It's a sensory and regulatory organ that communicates consistently and continuously with your brain. Research shows that emotional states like love and gratitude show coherence between the heart rhythm and brain activity. Spirituality shows us that this describes openness. It allows compassion and connection. This heart is the bridge between this heart space. This heart chakra is the bridge between the lower chakras and their association with the organs in your body, your association with survival instincts and individuality. And it's a bridge between that and your upper chakras that are associated with perception and consciousness. When the heart is open, energy flows freely. Energy flows freely between earth and awareness. You, earth, and awareness. You, earth, and consciousness. You, earth, and consciousness. You, earth, and awareness. Because you are part of the universe, just like earth and awareness is part of the one true creator. Quantum energy at its best, baby, This helped me to understand me. Know thyself. Tap into yourself. Understand who you are. It's not just knowing that you have a soul and your soul came from another dimension or had another life, and you want to know about all those lives, but you don't want to deal with the one now. And the one now is pretty awesome, no matter what you're going through. Body, mind, and soul, you're pretty awesome. You're a quantum energy spirit in a physical body having this journey. Growing and becoming and evolving into the next version of you. And once you're done with that one, you get to do another one. Right? So let's talk about the throat chakra. We're talking quantum, baby. I'm going to share this with you. Okay? Grace says, it feels like it's been a slow process, but definitely steady. Right? Go slow, go steady. Who says how fast you have to go? Except maybe society, which may tell you grind, grind, grind. But when you stop grinding and you start listening to your body, your quantum beautiful body, then what's in vibrates out. Right? She says, slowly changing and adjusting day by day. Let me share that with you. Slowly changing and adjusting day by day. That's why we're learning about this quantum energy. You're not doing it alone. You didn't come here and without all the tools that you needed. The tools were embedded in your DNA. Right? So let's talk about the throat chakra. This is another one of mine. I had to work on my throat chakra all of 2024, through the end of 2024 through 2025. A lot of dark night of the soul, a lot of releasing of my chakra system, throat wise, getting rid of a lot of heavy coughing and things that were part of this process of utilizing my throat, my words, for me. Right? Okay, so the throat chakra, the color is blue, hence I'm wearing blue today, right? The location, the throat. The spiritual theme is, yes, communication, truth, expression, right? This corresponds with the cervical nerve plexus. It corresponds with the thyroid, the parathyroid glands, and the structures involved in, that's right, speech and breathing. The thyroid regulates metabolism. It's how energy moves through the body. Grace says she knows she's going at a pace that is right for her. And she says, I do want changes quickly, However, I also know I have to get that I get too fast and I will backtrack. So she's learning to pace herself. I had to do the same thing. I wanted everything too sweet. I thought, and for the main part of my throat chakra, my thought was vibrationally, everybody else got to verbalize themselves. And when it came to me opening my mouth, I got shut down really quick. And this was even when I was a little kid, not by my mom, but teachers and kids who called themselves my friends, and even family. Didn't know it then that I had this right, free will right, to express. I wouldn't have teeth, a mouth, and a tongue to form words if I wasn't supposed to express and communicate. Right? Spiritually, the throat chakra governs expression and truth. I was born to express. I was born to learn what my truth is and express it. Everybody might not agree. That's the best word. Everyone is going to have a perception. And everyone's perception is going to change. Right? Spiritually, the throat chakra governs the expression and your expression and your truth. And when it's balanced, communication is clear, authentic, and aligned. When it's blocked, people may struggle to speak up. I struggled to speak. I would speak and felt I got shut down really quickly. So I learned to be I was just this silent person. In my junior high school, my high school years, and my young adult years, and maybe even a little bit in my junior high school years. Very verbal in my while my mom was present, because she had my back. Like I said, I will always say, I believe my mom was my spiritual guide in human form. She birthed me. She allowed that throat chakra to flow while I was learning about those things that didn't fit my perception of what was, oh, is that true? Is that whatnot? Yeah. And she wasn't always there for life lessons that were outside of her. I still had to go to school. I still had to be with teachers. I still had to be with friends and have experiences of life that that didn't allow for my throat chakra to shine. It wasn't meant for somebody else to fix it. Now I understand that in the end of 2023 through the end of 2024, that was my growth. That was my healing journey. Right? So when it's blocked, people may struggle to speak up. I struggled to speak up. I got tired of people cutting me off, thinking that they knew what I was going to say, or that it wasn't, you just, no, that don't make no sense. Mine is better, that kind of thing. Yeah, I got a lot of that because I like sci-fi and I believed in, and that wasn't, we're not going to talk about that, right? Like that kind of thing. And other stuff, you know. So when it's blocked, some people feel that they have to suppress their emotions. They feel unheard. I felt unheard. I could always go to my mom and she would listen. But by the time I was 30-ish, my mom had passed away. Okay. Expression is not just verbal. It's not just verbal. It's how energy moves outward into your world. So it's not just about it being verbal. It's about you creating your world through your expression. Right? So let's talk about the third eye. Color is indigo. Now, for me, where the scientists were talking about the gut instinct, now I understand that you got two chakras where you got instinct and understanding coming from. So your third eye is between your eyebrows. It's indigo. This area aligns what scientists consider the prefrontal cortex, the visual processing center, and the pituitary gland. That's often what scientists call your master gland because it regulates your hormone balance. That was a lot, right? Neurologically, this region supports insight, perception, perspective, pattern recognition, and making decisions. Right? Spiritually, it represents intuition and inner visions or vision or visions. The ability to see beyond the surface or beyond surface appearances. When this center is balanced, perception becomes clear and less reactive. You can kind of say you respond from insight rather than habit or being reactive. Right? Okay, here's the last one, the seventh, the crown chakra. Right? It's violet or white. It's located on the top of your head. Think about it. When you come out as a baby, there's that soft spot. Yes? Makes sense to me. Right? The theme is consciousness, awareness, unity, and spiritual connection. The crown chakra is associated with the higher brain integration, the cerebral cortex, symbolically the pineal gland. The center represents awareness and connection with something greater than the individual, more than just being body and mind. Spiritually, it is the experience of unity, wholeness. It is the experience of being a part of the whole, becoming aware that you are part of the whole. Okay? It is about For some, it's about coming into the sense coming into the sense of feeling that you belong to in the universe. Right? Each of these chakras is traditionally described as a spinning wheel or a vortex of energy. When I found out that it spins from left to right versus right to left, I was in awe. I always wondered why I would stir my coffee from left to right. When I rubbed my stomach, it was from left to right. Right? In modern language, you think of them as quantum nodes, points of awareness, energy, and biological systems that intersect. They're not just physical objects, but functional patterns of organization. Your body is a roadmap. It's an organization of energy flowing through this roadmap. Now let's expand outward. The spiritual traditions, the outer field, sometimes called, I've heard it called your aura, right? That's the place where your inner world meets your outer world. It's the extension of your consciousness beyond the boundaries of your physical body. Woo! From metaphorical quantum perspective, your thoughts, emotions, and your awareness do not remain contained to your body or to your skin. It expands outward. It radiates outward through your posture, through your facial expression, through your nervous system, through your electrical magnetic activity from your heart and from your brain. It moves out. Your outer field represents the space between your awareness and outward from your body. It's you sensing that you are connected to not just your within, you're connected to every vibrational essence of environment around you. That you're not separate from it, that you're a part of it. This field can expand when you're calm, when you're grounded, when you're inspired. It can contract when you're stressed, when you're fearful, or when you're overwhelmed. This outer field is dynamic. Your quantum energy bursting at the seams. You're a living conversation between you and the world. Science supports this interaction. The body produces electrical and magnetic activity that shift with your emotions. It shifts with your sociological states. Other people get influenced by your subtle cues. They get influenced by your tone of voice, your micro expressions, your body language, a process known as co-regulation. Blew my mind. Now I understand some of science. I'm not a science wizard, but I understand it a little bit better. It's saying exactly what spirituality is saying, just expressing it a little bit differently. You don't need to speak for your field to communicate. You can just feel. When you hold an intention, it changes the behavior of your presence. It changes the behavior of your energy that you're emitting. Stress tightens the field, and calmness softens it and expands it. Compassion creates safety. These effects are measurable. Science is measuring it. It's measurable in psychology. It's measurable in neuroscience. It's measurable in sociology. They're just expressing it to you in their terminology. Blew me away. In this sense, your field creates a ripple effect. You influence the world, and the world responds to what you radiate outward. So what you send out, you get back. And some others are touched by it or activated by it, or depending on what energy you're sending out, are irritated by it. Now, science is not talking, they're not trying to tell you this is magic, this is woo-hoo, but it's interconnected. You have the interconnected systems. Your outer field is your personal energy signature in the universe. This is how the universe knows its child. My mother had 5 children, and she knew us by our energetic signature. Your outer field is your personal energetic signature. It reflects your emotional state, your awareness, your belief, your physical energy, your spiritual alignment. It's not fixed energy. It shifts and it moves from moment to moment. It expands with confidence and connection. It contracts with fear and being overwhelmed. It brightens with unconditional clarity or love or joy. It dims with exhaustion and emotional heaviness. Spiritually, this is called your aura. Scientifically, it is called or can be described as your biofield or embodying presence. Just a different way to express it. Blew my mind. But now I'm not so desperate to try to find out how to get science out my life. Blew me away. Ooh. Okay. What helped me to understand it is they're not competing truths. They are different languages describing the same experience. Just blew me away. From a psychological perspective, the field is your presence, how people feel around you. From a biological perspective, it reflects the nervous system regulation and the heart-brain coherence. When you meditate or breathe deeply or practice gratitude, the heart center or the heart center enters a more coherent rhythm. This coherence can stabilize your emotional state. It can influence others nearby you. Spirituality In spirituality, this is experienced as a brighter or more expansive field, but it's all the same field. When you're stressed, the system becomes erratic. People sense tension, withdrawals, heaviness, often without even knowing why. Right? Practices like grounding and chakra meditation and mindfulness and intentional breathing stabilize energy flow. Scientifically, they calm the nervous system and reduce stress hormones. Spiritually, they restore balance. Same energy. Think of your chakras as internal control centers. Each one regulates a specific aspect of your being, your quantum energy. You've got an internal control system. Your outer field is broadcasting all the internal activity. When your chakras are in balance, your field is coherent and harmonious. When they are blocked, your field feels or may feel scattered or weak. From a quantum metaphor, your field interacts with the energy around you like waves interacting and overlapping. From a science perspective, your electromagnetic and nervous system signal, influences, and synchronizes with others through co-regulation. I had to take my time because now I understand it more when I actually take my time and listen to what I'm learning. Balancing the chakras through awareness, through your breath, through intention, or meditation support your spiritual growth and biological regulation at the same time. You are a spirit with a human body, and mind, having an experience, an expression of an experience. You're not managing energy to become something else. You are restoring the flow to remember who you already are. To remember who you already are. I say it once again, to remember who you already are. And then when you remember who you already are, you become more. And more and more and more and more and more and more and more. So as we close today, I want you to remember this. You are not separate from your energy. You are quantum energy in a physical body with a conscious and aware mind. You are not separate from the field around you. You are part of it, and it is part of you. Your inner world is always in relationship with the universe. It's always in the relationship with the universe, right? Sorry, I had to fix that. Okay. When you bring awareness to that relationship, you live more consciously, or you can live more consciously. You can live more compassionately, and you can live more fully embodied. I want to thank you for joining me for this episode 7 of my Soul Awakening podcast series. May you continue to explore, balance, and embody your energy. May your presence bring coherence wherever you go. Wherever you go, you are telling your story. You are moving through quantum energy, and quantum energy is moving through you. We have one episode left, episode 8. It's about energy and light language. Quantum energy and light language. I had to dive into this one because I speak light language. And I love sharing it. And I love activating others who can grow and utilize their talents. And sometimes the scary part is not knowing how it got to be part of them. I'm not saying I have all the answers, but I am saying that I learned a little something about me and my light language. Right? So join me next Monday at 4 p.m. for episode 8, the final episode in this series. And then we're going to have another series. I think it's about 4 or 5 episodes that come up new. I'm not sharing it with you because the divine is working on the finishing touches for me, or with me, or through me. So you are so very welcome, Grace. Thank you for being part of this live. She says, thank you for broadcasting. She definitely realized a few things during this live. And that's what I'm here to do, is help you understand. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't, and then put it in and add it to what you already know. And who knows, what doesn't resonate might resonate in the future when you're listening to something else, and you'll say, oh, I remembered Soul Awakening with Sandra. She said that, but now I understand it when so-and-so says it. That sounds better. That makes better sense to me. I'm not here to change your mode of thinking right now. I'm here to give you new information to take in so that you can say, oh, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. So everyone, I want you to be blessed. I want wholeness and balanced love to feel your moment, your now moment. I want you to grow, and I want you to expand, and I want you to evolve, and then I want you to wash, rinse, and repeat, baby, because you're quantum energy seeking a relationship with the universe. You're seeking a relationship with becoming. You're seeking a relationship with energy. So, everyone, be blessed. One love. Peace.